All right. So now we're doing FreeCodeCamp Legacy Python for Everybody Intermediate Expressions Exercise at 2. All right. We get the old logo, slap it here. I didn't do it on the last one, don't matter. Exercise 2, here we go.
Hello, and welcome to Python.
Hold on, Dr. Chuck. Give me a second, Dr. C. And let's go.
For everybody, my name is Charles Severance. In this short video, I will be explaining how to...
Actually, you know what? We already know what's going to happen. So let's open up VS Code where we left off right here. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And let's read what this thing says, all right? Write a program to prompt the user for hours and rate per hour to compute gross pay. Okay. We won't worry about making sure our pay has exactly 2 digits after the decimal place for now. If we want, we can play with the built-in Python round function to properly round the resulting pay to 2 decimal places. Okay. So let's think about this. So we want to do the thing like we did on here. We want to do an input. And then we'll say input. How many hours did you work? And then input for hours and rate per hour. So input, how many hours did you work? 35. Input, how much do you make per hour? All right. So yeah, let's do it like that. Let's open this thing up. And let's start off with a new file. All right. And let's start by saying, let's get this out of the way if we can. No. There we go. All right. So let's start and say input. Let's say hours equals. And then let's put the input thing right there. And we'll say, how many hours did you work? How many hours did you work? Question mark, boom. And then we'll have another one. We'll say rate. And then we'll say input. How much do you make per hour? How much do you make per hour? All right. And now that we got that, what do we want to do? Prompt the user
Run exercise
to compute gross pay. Do we want to print it? Okay, let's do this. Let's say pay equals hours, of course, times rate. All right, makes sense, right? And then let's say print your pay is, let's put that over 1 and comma, and we'll say pay. Pay, let's put a $sign. How about that? Let's put a $sign plus pay. Okay, that should be good. So let's see what we can do. Let's file, save as, and let's call this I guess ex3. Ex. Let's do this. Well, let's call it 3. Save it. Now let's go to the command line where this thing is located. Let's open up this. It's on the desktop, I think. Desktop. Where were we at? PY4E. All right. So let's say CMD right here. CMD. All right. Let's do this. Let's do tab. Tab. I guess we push tab twice. Tab, tab. Let's press home. Python. How many hours did it work? What was it? 40. Let's say 40, whatever. How much do you make per hour? $40 per hour. What? Oh, they're both strings. Okay, so let's change this up. Let's make this, let's wrap this up like this and say int hours. Oh yeah. And then let's wrap this one up like this and say int. All right, now let's save it. File save. Let's try it yet again. All right, 40. Come on. Plus. All right, trace back. Line 4 right here. Okay, so we got to turn these back into. Okay, so let's wrap this up one more time in parentheses like this and put str like that. Let's save it. File save. Come over here. 40. Yeah, $1,600. All right, I'll take it. All right, so that's good. It said something about rounding. We're not going to worry about that right now, so let's not worry about it. Also, I don't see how it would give us anything other than like 2 decimal points if we give like, let's try it again. 5 hours, 5 point. Okay. How much do we make? $50 an hour because we're real cool. Come on. All right. Chase back. Line 3. Int. Okay. So we got to change this somehow. It's not going to, it doesn't like these integers. Let's call it float. Let's put float. Float. And then let's go float here. File save. Where is it? File save. Let's try it again. What we're feeling. Okay, cool. All right. So it does change it like that. I don't know how to do the 2 fix 2 on this, so we'll figure that maybe Dr. Chuck will say. So this works though. This definitely works. As it says, it doesn't have to be 2 digits, so we'll worry about that at some other point. But there we go. Let's see what Dr. Chuck has to say.
2.3, where we prompt for some hours, prompt for some rate, and multiply them together and print them out with a little pay message. And so this is 2.3. Some of you will immediately want to go to the autograder and sort of do your homework on the autograder. I really would rather you didn't do that.
What the hell? What does that mean?
Unless, of course, you're doing this on an iPad or an Android or something where you can't install Python. But you have to realize that the autograder isn't forever. You can only go so far with the autograder, and eventually you have to write a real Python program. So I'll eventually show you how to run this autograder, but I'm going to instead show you how to run it in the terminal.
Let's go find this.
First, going to go into my Python for Everybody folder.
Chill. py4e.com. Let's open this up. I'll put it over here. I don't know if I got anything crazy. py4e.com. Let's see what we got. All right. Lessons. Is this all? This is the same stuff. Okay. So yeah, we've got this too. We can go to pythonforeverybody.com and hook these guys up with some money, or with some views at least. Slides, references, discussion tools. All right, whatever. Maybe later. All right, let's keep going.
And I'm going to make a new folder. Command-Shift-N is what I just did there. EX0203 for exercise 3. And so there's
okay, so he wanted us to do it in a different folder. Let's do that. Let's send this one up one. Let's control in. No, that's it. New folder. Let's see what new folder is. Nope. Anyway. Let's take this. Nope. Go back up. Copy. Paste. 0203. All right. Throw this in here. Get rid of the command prompt. CMD. All right. Let's do a tab. There it is. Let's do a home. Put Python in front of it. Looks like my paycheck. If inflation keeps going up.
exercise 3. And I'm also going to go into Atom, which is my text editor. And see, I have that folder. And so I'm going to make a new file. And I always say print, I'll just say py4e, oops, py4e, and then I will say file, save as, and I want to make sure it's in here, and it's going to be ex_02. I don't like putting spaces in file names. Some operating systems can handle them, but that's why I'm using underscores here, so I would avoid using spaces in file names. So as soon as I give that a py4e, as soon as I give it a Python suffix, I'm there. And so it shows up there in my desktop. And now I'm going to run the terminal program so that I can get there. So cd desktop, cd Python for everybody. That's the folder on my desktop. And if I do an ls, I see a couple folders and a file. I can say ls-l and see a little more detail that these are folder, these two are folders, and this one's a file. So change directory, cd ex0203. And so now I'm in that folder. And if I do an ls-l, I see that file.
All right. What about ls-l? What is there a directory? Also, I don't. Let's open the command prompt. Let's open a fresh command prompt. There it is, right there. Boom. All right. So what did he do? So cd desktop. Okay. And then dir, right? Okay, there's all these. Nothing too crazy, I don't see. All right, so what are we doing? We want the Python things. Okay, so dir is files, I think. Video assets, website building stuff. Yes, that's what this is. And so we're looking for something py4e. Okay, so let's check this. Let's say cd. Okay. Let's do dir again. All right, so we got this one and this one. cd. Okay, and then let's run it. Let's do a tab. And then, no. Let's do delete, whatever. All right, now let's say home, Python. And look, it still works. Okay. All right, great. All right, so yeah, that's basically what he's doing. I don't know about that for the -l though. Let's go to cd /. Let's go cd desktop again. So cd desktop. cd c users. cd /c. No, that didn't work either. We'll figure this stuff out later. Let's just watch the rest of the video.
I can also do an ls without the -l and see the file. And now I say Python 3 ex0203.py, and it runs. And you'll see me, no matter how many times you watch me, you'll see the first thing that I do is get to the point where I know I'm in the right directory and I can run a little hello program. Before I start coding, I just don't like being crazy, right? So now I'm going to go back and take a look at my assignment. Enter hours, you got a prompt for hours, ask for a number, enter rate, prompt for rate, and then calculate pay. So there's a couple of input statements here. XH is my variable I'm going to choose. Later I'll choose more effective variables, but for now I'm going to make them silly. Enter hours, colon, space. And then I'm going to copy and paste and call this XR for rate. When you're doing this, you need to be very careful to, and so now I'm going to calculate XP time, which is XH times XR, and then I'm going to say print pay, oops. I don't need to put a space because this comma effectively creates a space, XP. And then I'm going to save that. And I'm going to switch to my terminal program. Clear my screen in my terminal program. And I'm going to type up arrow, because I already typed Python 3 x203.py. So my hours, I'll just start with something really simple that I can calculate in my head. 10 and 5. Whoops.
Yep.
Can't multiply sequence of non-int by sequence of non-int of type stir.
True. We learned that.
Here we have a traceback. And again, I encourage you to realize that these tracebacks are not personal attacks by Python.
Like, literally, who is taking what a computer says as a personal attack? Like, who does he have to explain this to?
On you.
Is it you? I'm sure it's not you. You can't be watching my videos and be that lame.
Even though they might be frustrating. And so the way to parse this is start by saying line 3. Something's wrong at line 3. It's pretty good at knowing what line it is, or it's either that line or the line above it. And it's something about multiplying. You know, what it's really saying is I'm confused. I have to stop because I cannot understand your instructions. So the problem here, of course, is that this is of type string, and so you can't multiply a string times a string.
True.
Okay, and so we can convert this using a float. So that's a function call now. We're passing the string xh in, and the value we get back is the floating point version of that. And then we call float for this as well. And so now I'll save that.
I mean, obviously he's saving time here, but there's no way we would have. I mean, you saw me do it. I pushed int first because we wanted to make an integer. But, you know, he knows that there's going to be a problem later on down the line, so he put float. But, you know, I like to be fully wrong when I'm wrong.
Remember to save. So I'm going to run it, and so I'm going to run my hours of 10 and my rate of 10. And it's 100. And so that looks pretty good, okay? So let's go ahead and try to run this in the autograder. And this is my idea is you'll take this and you'll copy it, and you'll go back to the autograder now and just paste this in, okay? And so it says use 35 hours and a rate of 275. So let's check the code. 35 hours, okay, 75. Oh, no, 275, 2.75. And so it's running, and it's running, and it's running, and it works. And of course, now I've got my grade. So this idea where you work here to get your assignment done correctly, and then you run it in the autograder, is the way I intend for you to do it. But again, if you can't do it that way, it's a great way to get started to just write your code in the autograder. And, you know, you can change your code in the autograder and then run it again. Of course, this is going to fail. 35 and 2.75. And of course, you get a mismatch, and now it's angry at you. And the mismatch here, of course, is because I print howdy pay and pay. And it's real picky about it. And you think, oh, I got the 96.25 right. Well, it doesn't really care so much about that. So let me go ahead and fix this and run it. So we leave on a successful note. 35 hours and 2.75 as the rate per hour. It's kind of a low rate per hour. And we're getting successful. And of course, that means that you now have a grade on assignment 2.3. Look at that. I got a grade on assignment 2.3. Unless, of course, you're running this in some other environment. Okay?
We're not.
Thank you so much, and I hope that this has been useful to you.
It was. Thank you, Dr. Chuck. All right, so there's that. All right, so that was good. We got done with exercise 2. Let's finish this up while we're at it. What will print after running this code? Okay, width is 15, height is 12.0, print height divided by 3. So it'll be 4.0, right? Because it's a float, right? Right? I clicked it. Let's check the answer. Yeah! All right. So there's that. All right. So now we're on to conditional execution. And we'll see you next time.